one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading of the minutes from last.
Okay. I'm recording the meeting, so when people speak, could you please state your name so I can record it in the minutes. The Watts Township Board of Supervisors met in special session at 6:15 p.m. at the New Buffalo Fire Hall on August 6, 2014 for the purpose of holding a public hearing on the proposed adoption of the multi-hazard mitigation plan. Present, Carl Rudinsky, Dr. Pat Dutal, Frank Paus, Nancy Conjoli, and 14 residents. Chairman Rudinsky called the hearing to order. Chairman Rudinsky asked for public comments. Hearing no comments, the hearing was closed at 6:20 p.m. The regular business meeting was called to order at 6:30 p.m. by Chairman Rudinsky. He announced an executive session was held on July 30th to discuss personnel issues. A motion was made to approve the minutes with the following amendments. June minutes. 1. Good and Welfare, number 3, removed Mr. Kirkpatrick, requested a 90-day extension. Gutal, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. An emergency meeting was held on July 8, 2014 at approximately 9 p.m. on Black Snake Road in response to the severe weather conditions, and the board declared a state of emergency. Supervisor Paus made a motion to approve these minutes. Rudinsky seconded. Motion carried unanimously. Public comment. Brian Rice Snyder asked if more people were going to be appointed to the Act 537 committee. Chairman Rudinsky replied, not at this time. It will be discussed when there is a meeting with the engineer of the project on adding additional members. Donna Ellenberger asked if the supervisors tell the engineers what to do. It was affirmed yes, however, they are seeking input from the engineer on adding additional members to the committee. Sean Krumlich asked about line painting on Notch Road and obtaining rules and regulations on burning. There is no ordinance addressing burning in the township. There may be DEP regulations, however. Virginia Rost asked about 1, minutes being posted on the website. Secretary Conjoli answered is being worked on. 2, the repair of potholes on Pine Tree Road. Carl stated that is scheduled to be done. 3, overhanging trees, limit visibility also. 4, the new development on the road that intersects with Scotch Circle is becoming a hazard with the construction vehicles traveling up the hill, and there are several children in that area. A slow sign will be posted. She resides at 5 Scotch Circle, and there is a water runoff issue. The issue will be revisited by Engineer Speece. Mr. Krumlich again asked about line painting. Carl stated the whole township will be done when Circle Road is completed. Steve Pollock commented that where Crest intersects with Amity, that is an extremely bad intersection, and there have been many accidents. There is a mirror that was put up, however, the framing has deteriorated and the mirror has been painted. Carl will check into it more. Bonnie Wise thanked the board for their response to her noise issue. It has helped tremendously. Linda Heffenfinger thanked the board for all the work that was done around the corner of Notch and Amity. She suggested on Half Falls Road a mirror be installed. It was discussed that it is a private road and would be the responsibility of the residents on that drive to put the mirror up. Carl will check with the solicitor for clarification, however. John Heffenfinger, Donna Ellenberger, and Brian Rice Snyder individually questioned if the board was considering abolishing the driveway committee. The board confirmed that they do not want to abolish it. Linda Heffenfinger went on to explain there are 2 committees currently formed. One is the driveway committee that Supervisor Paus suggested the residents form to review and make recommendations on the ordinance to the board, and the other is the concerned citizens of Watts Township, consisting of township residents only. No elected or appointed officials are on either committee. A motion was made that the supervisor's request for Mr. Brian Rice Snyder that his group put together a list of all suggested changes they wish to see in the driveway ordinance and problematic areas from their perception, and bring that list to the Planning Commission, and at the next meeting, the supervisors will then weigh the recommendations of the Planning Commission and create an amended driveway ordinance. Rudinsky. Motion died for lack of second. Discussion continued on what happened, discussion continued on what happened at the meeting of the Planning Commission and the Driveway Committee. The PC did provide notes on their suggestions to the committee, however, the issues were mostly non-driveway issues. The committee will take more written suggestions to the next PC meeting for just driveways. The committee is suggesting a separate ordinance for road cutting by letter to the supervisors. Excuse me. Engineer Speece and the PC will prepare a response to the committee's written suggestions for new driveways, and after after the next PC meeting. Engineer Spees will separate what refers to driveways and what refers to road cutting. Zoning Officer, Bob Hart reported no permits were issued for July. He provided a list of 23 certificates of use by zoning permit number that he has mailed or personally delivered. Supervisor Powell pointed out that Article 6, Section 602E of the zoning ordinance requires a certificate of occupancy be issued. Mr. Hart explained, BIU issues certificates of occupancy, not use. Linda Heffenfinger asked if the meeting between Mr. Hart and the board occurred. It is not, as there were conflicts scheduling the meeting. Engineer, the general permit for the stream bed near the firehouse should be attained by the next meeting. The list of recommendations for Notch Road was presented to the board. Fire company, Ambrose Quigley was absent. However, he submitted a financial report and a copy of a declaration of a state of emergency form to the secretary. Old business. A motion was made to cancel the state of emergency. Gutau, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. Audit, Secretary Conjoli continues to try to schedule a meeting. Status of saldo, Jerry is reviewing one final time. A total of 3 signed permits were issued to Etrovon Enterprises at $65 each, one in 2013 and 2 in 2014. They are being refunded the difference of $45 for overpayments. Fees should have been $50 each. A motion was made to rescind the motion from July, the Sewage Facility Resolution 2014-4 wording. Powell, Gutau, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to adopt the Sewage Facility grant in the amount of $16,400, Resolution 2014-4, Rudinsky, Gutau, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to adopt Resolution 14-05, the Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan, Rudinsky, Gutau, motion carried unanimously. Volunteers were requested for the 3rd opening on the Auditor's Board. Please contact the Secretary. Cleanup Day. Who took items the residents discarded was discussed. During that discussion, it was explained by the members of the board that in a previous public meeting, John Heffenfinger had asked Chairman Rudinsky if anyone could take or have items discarded on that day. Chairman Rudinsky had replied everyone was welcome to take anything that was being discarded. New business. The Secretary will provide a budgetary breakdown of revenues and expenses as of the end of July to the board before the next meeting. Roadmaster Rudinsky temporarily hired Brett Hart during July because of Kelly Rigg's absence for 2 weeks. A motion was made to temporarily hire Brett Hart and Dick Pozick as needed. Rudinsky, Gutau, motion carried. Dick Pozick is only helping with the Notch cul-de-sac. Chairman Rudinsky asked the residents if they wanted the cul-de-sac to be done or leave it dead. Donna Ellenberger stated that the school and Roar's bus needs to know before school starts, will it be done or do they need to look for an alternative? A motion was made to authorize the roadmaster to hire Dick Pozick for up to 15 hours for the next month. Passed. Motion died for lack of second. Donna Ellenberger suggested better planning be done for future road projects. A motion was made to allow the roadmaster to employ Dick Pozick during the month of August on a temporary basis up to 80 hours at $13.25 per hour. Paust, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. Sean Krumlich volunteered that he has a CDL and offered to help out with the project for free. There's an EMC quarterly training at the courthouse on August 27th. Ambrose Quigley has been informed. The liquid fuels audit for 2012 had no findings. Roadmaster, a motion was made to hire the U Company to do mowing on an emergency basis one time. Rudinsky, Gutau, motion carried. Supervisor Paust opposed. The bids for the Circle Road project are Wilson Paving, $137,200, J. Falk Road and Sons, $155,930, Eastern Industries, $138,550. A motion was made to reject all bids. Paust, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made that all 3 supervisors do a road inspection on August 12, 2014 at 6 p.m. Paust, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. Planning Commission. The sewage module for the Charles and Tammy Wilt plan was signed by Chairman Rudinsky. The Planning Commission will be submitting their meeting minutes before the board meetings. The Liberty Petroleum Plan conditions have been met and the plan was released for recording. A motion was made to approve the bills to be paid and any bills that come due before the next meeting. Gutau, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to advertise for a new zoning officer. Paust, Rudinsky, Gutell opposed, motion carried. The ad will be written by Carl and placed in all 3 local papers and on the website. 5 loads of salt will be ordered for delivery. A motion was made to adjourn the meeting. Radinsky, Gutell, motion carried unanimously.
Yeah, I have a question under zoning officer first. Towards the end of the first paragraph, I guess, Mr. Hart explained VIU, issue certificates of occupancy, not use. And then I think it should be added, supervisor of house disagreed, stating VIU issues building construction certificates and the zoning officer issues certificates of occupancy. Therefore, the zoning officer needs to start issuing certificates of occupancy as directed in the ordinance. And then down under the sewage facilities grant, a motion was made to adopt the sewage facilities grant in the amount of $16,400. After that, I think we should include discussions on changing what the board votes to take place. Discussions were had on changing what the board votes to take place, and it was agreed that no one should be directing the secretary to do anything different than what the board has voted. And then under new business, Roadmaster Radinsky temporary hired Brett Hart, and it says a motion was made to temporarily hire Brett Hart and Dick Bozick as needed. And it says Radinsky, Gutell, motion carried, but there was never a second or a vote on that, on hiring both of them. So that should be, motion died for a second, lack of a second.
I don't recall that. Do you remember?
He made the motion, I just listened to it 20 minutes ago, and it said to hire Brett Hart and Dick Bozick, and then we went into discussion. There was never a second, and there was never a vote on that part. Later on, we voted to hire Dick for 80 hours. So this part, just this part, there was no second. Those are my corrections.
Okay, I got a motion, accept, go ahead.
Yeah.
Got a motion to accept the minutes as read.
Yeah, I'll second that.
With the corrections.
Yeah.
Corrections.
Aye.
Okay.
Let's take a, that's all.
Any public comments?
And the supervisors, no, that was never a part of that, and,
Zoning officer, next.
There was one sign permit issued during August for Appalachian Hardware.
I just don't feel like fighting.
Engineer Jerry,
My first item, I have not heard anything about the stream bank restoration of the general permit. The second one is the proposed driveway ordinance comments. I don't think that that's, we're waiting now for the committee, I guess, that we discussed that planning commission. So we're done with that right now. Scott Circle water runoff, I did not go up there and look. I didn't know I was directed to. So,
I can go with you again, you know.
and do you want me to get with you to go up there?
Yeah.
Okay. And Seldo, do we have that on? I'll wait till we get to that then.
Okay, the SEO,
Were we going to check the Scotch Circle water runoff? Were we going to check with our solicitor on that too?
yeah,
To see if,
well, I
since it was
did
already
talk
built?
once about it. I'll give it another call. Okay. The SEO's no report, the solicitor, nothing, fire company report.
I gave you the monthly report. Sorry I haven't been here the last couple months. Been out of town both times. But you have the monthly report up to date. handed the secretary our 2013 990. I had that for the last 2 months to get to you, but unfortunately I couldn't make it. So you do have the audit for the 990 on file. The other thing I have is the fire company has got its Tri-County Fireman Sportsman Raffle.
Ask any questions.
It's for 2015, $25, basically a gun a day, a package a day for the whole year. Costs about 6 cents a day to play. Benefits 4 fire departments. We're looking for people to buy, and we're looking for people to help us sell. So if anybody's interested in those, any hunters or sportsmen people, see me and I can get you some calendars to help us sell them. Other than that, we've been pretty busy. We're over 100 calls already this year, which is busy for us. So that's about it.
Okay, anybody else got anything? Number one, old business. You gonna close out the,
I'm waiting for the audit.
okay, did you hear from Tom today? Or
Yes, I did. He's been very busy on the road traveling. He said that it's slowing down now. He is going to be looking at all the information that I had sent to him by email, and he has set a target date for the end of September to set a concrete date for the auditors and myself to get together.
Okay, this computer security expert course, you either check into that or you
Yeah.
need somebody.
Yeah, there, you know what, I'm gonna check, there's another fellow I'm gonna check with, because the gentleman I was supposed to be meeting with hasn't been at the meetings that I've been going to. So I'll definitely check with someone else as far as an IT guy.
Okay.
So,
Would that be related, could that be related to number 9 on here also, the website postings, IT assistance?
Possibly, I think, are you gonna take a training course or something, or is that?
Well, I'm having a very hard time.
I even missed that.
I don't know what happened, but I need some technical assistance with posting stuff. CEDACOG is who created the website, and I do have training with Township that I'm scheduling, and I will also, that will probably benefit me here for this township also.
Is that something that requires training as far as, because Flathers? is that his
He's
name?
no longer there, no. He's no longer there, but there is someone else.
Because that was a pretty good training course, as I.
Right, but their SharePoint isn't working with what I have on the computer now, so I need to find out how to, some things I can do, some things I can't. And posting minutes and budgets, I can't do that at this point, so.
I'm just inquiring, maybe when you check
Right,
it, you
right, I
can
got
also see if you could give some IT assistance.
Yeah, okay, all
Where
right.
we find.
Okay, the status of Soundo. Here, Jerry, you're working on that one more time.
I got through the review of all the chapters.
Okay,
The only thing I found was that there's 2 sections talk about concrete monuments and placement and how they're supposed to be, and I think it should be just in one section. And I said, we can fix that if you want us to. And I'll try to pick out the one I think that the Planning Commission recommended. They both say a lot of the same stuff, but then there's some differences in them. But none of the appendixes were in what you sent me, so I don't know, do you have the appendixes?
Yes.
Yeah, I
When we
didn't
went
think-
through those, and those they were fine the way they
Okay.
were. It was mostly the wording that had to be changed in some of
Okay.
the sections.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, I can send those along,
well,
but I mean, it's,
I didn't remember whether we looked at them or
Yeah.
not, so I'll get the change that I think should be made.
okay,
It's all in chapter 6.
chapter 6.
okay, well, credit card, we can't do nothing after we get our audit. You haven't heard no more Nancy Brown?
this with Tom.
Tom, we don't,
Yeah.
the Rising Sun letters are gonna go out next month. And you think he's gonna, by the end of September, he'll be ready with this audit? Did he-
Yeah, he hasn't had time to review the spreadsheets that I've sent to him, so he's slowing down with his business travels. He said he will definitely have a start date, and once he starts, it's not going to take very long at all.
Okay. Proposed driveway ordinance of Tim Moss's letter. You want to read that out?
Excuse me.
Do you have copies? Do you have one? Here it is.
Go ahead.
You want me to read it?
Nancy can
Mine vanished.
Okay.
read it.
Oh, this is from Tim Moss. He's a member of the Watts Township Planning Commission. Watts Township Board of Supervisors. A motion was made and passed by the Watts Township Planning Commission that proposes to form a joint driveway ordinance committee. For the purposes of this communique, I will refer to it as the Driveway Ordinance Focus Group, with the existing Driveway Ordinance Committee, in order to make better progress on the possible revision of the Watts Township Driveway Ordinance. The focus group will consist of 2 members of the Watts Township Planning Commission and 2 members of the Driveway Ordinance Committee. The focus group proposes to meet at the community center on Sunday evenings. The public would be allowed to attend these meetings but would have no input. The focus group would present its proposed changes, if any, to the Watts Township Planning Commission. The public would be invited to comment on any changes at that time.
Okay, any comments on that?
I'll take these.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead, make it.
okay, I just, what I was thinking is, basically, because we had met with the group, the last PC meeting, and it seemed like it was kind of more of a, not turmoil, but not real conducive. And I know Ambrose had sort of made this suggestion. I'm not sure if you went back on that idea or not after the fact, but anyway, this is actually a proposal that we had made last time and it died for lack of a second, but I'm thinking that because the Driveway Ordinance Committee has made a lot of effort to try to put forth something, and I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but what I'm thinking might be a better solution is, and I'll just read this, make a motion that the Driveway Committee bring a complete list of all suggestions and objections, etc., to the next Public Supervisors meeting, and the supervisors should hold a workshop to modify the driveway ordinance, taking into account the Driveway Ordinance Committee's suggestions for an amended driveway ordinance. So it's not really, it's still allowing the comments to come forth, because I know you put time into it, and we want to hear what we want to hear what you have to say. And we've spent 2 commission meetings listening to what you're saying, and it seems like they're kind of far apart with the Planning Commission and you folks. And I see both sides of it. Honestly, I do see both sides, but I'm thinking that might not be a bad idea, for you folks to come up with a list. Jerry had put in some time, as you saw, with the list, and I'm not sure you guys were real happy with it.
No,
he
it
got-
basically puts everything back to the 2010 ordinance except for a couple minor points.
Okay. I know Jerry spent, 2-3 hours on that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he got to read the first one, I guess he read.
Oh, yeah, we spent,
Mine.
if you were to tally it up, we spent days on it.
Oh, I'm sure. No, I'm not saying that you folks, like I said, I understand that you put certainly a lot of time into it, and I'm not trying to discount that or dismiss that in any way. I want you to be able to bring forth your ideas.
Well, we already did present our
That's
ideas
right.
in the form of a proposal, so that's already been done.
Right. Okay, but the thing is, as you saw with the Planning Commission meeting and the last 2, especially the last one, after an hour and a half, it was like you guys were here
Wasn't that
the planning commission was here and then never the twain shall meet. I mean, it was,
Yeah, exactly. Whenever two parties negotiate, usually there's a little bit of discussion and give, and there was no give at all with the planning commission, and everything else was deferred to the engineer. So, from our point of view, the engineer is basically dictating the terms of the driveway ordinance.
I don't know if Carl's aware of what took place at the planning commission meeting, but we appointed the planning commission to help write this ordinance.
Right.
And they came up with a recommendation on the best way, just like Pat's saying. It's kind of stalled or just going back and forth. The planning commission came up with basically this recommendation to go head to head. 2 from our planning commission, 2 from their committee. Sit down, hash it out, bring it back to planning commission with that hashed out, so it's not taking place at the planning commission meetings. That's the planning commission's recommendations. I don't see a problem with that. That's
That's right.
a better chance of moving
We didn't even
forward
do it yet.
without with just 2 people head to head hashing it out. That makes sense, and I say, my view is if we appointed the planning commission to do it and they came up with an idea, let them run with their idea. I don't think we need to approve it. If that's what they want to do, and I think that's what they said they wanted to do, let them go forward with it. I mean, right now, I'm not even sure you can come up with a list between the 2 of us, and that's what the purpose of going head to head was, to narrow down that list and get it ironed out so that committee could work. That's where I understand the planning commission left it. This recommendation for a head-to-head committee of
well,
two.
maybe another thing we might want to
Look,
do
she's
is
been
actually
again.
make a motion to ask our solicitor if this is, that's why I was, hopefully that it was something that if they gave us their solutions, their ideas, and brought them to us, and we worked it out in a workshop with the supervisors, and then Jerry, at least we'd have their ideas and could maybe incorporate some of those as opposed to, because right now, it just doesn't seem to be working.
I see what they're saying is, it seems like it's going around in circles, and I understand that.
And then there was two planning commission meetings, and Jerry put in our bill that we got, the combination of the time that Jerry put in, that was $300 for the list that we came up with, and I mean, I'm not saying that you didn't earn the time, the money. I'm just saying that there's a lot of money that's been wrapped up.
But in order to keep it moving now, the planning commission has come up with the solution.
Well, that was
Yes.
a suggestion
Head to
that
head.
Ambrose came up with.
That was the planning commission's recommendation to
That's
the
right.
supervisor. So if they've recommended that, why not let them, instead of stalling, let them go with their committee?
Okay, well, I think, I don't.
Nancy.
By Linus?
Yes.
Why?
This was voted on, this was agreed upon at the planning commission meeting, that this is what we would do. And they haven't even
Well,
met
right
yet.
now, Tim Moss and I are going to be meeting with the planning commission, I'm sorry, with the driveway ordinance on a Sunday, because that's the only day Tim can do it. So, and we were going to have 2 supervisors, but that didn't seem to.
Okay, weren't sure about that. so.
I didn't think that was the way it was supposed to be.
No, we decided not to do, I mean, it was then, well, the letter that Tim wrote is the one that we would be going.
Speak up, Brian.
Well, if we want to do that, then,
Well, I'll make a motion that we officially authorize the planning commission to handle this in the fashion that they have chosen.
I'll second.
Thank
All in
you.
favor?
Thank you.
Okay, that's where it's going.
all right, well then, we haven't met a time, well, we still, again, though, we still, I think, have to run it by a solicitor to find out if we can even do this.
We just voted for it. Carl just said that we'll check it out.
We'll go with this route, keep it moving. I have to check with Lance on a couple other things.
There was a question, I had a question on the letter.
All right.
Planning commission, because they're getting so much public, that's why they weren't getting anywhere. Everybody was. So that they were, as I understood it, they were to go head to head, just the 4 of you sit down and hash it out. Is that what you understood?
Yeah, sorry?
It was just the 4 of you were going to sit down?
Yeah, it was
and
just
go,
going to be the 4 of us, 2
and then
people.
bring it back to the public for comment at a
Right.
planning commission.
Well,
We understood that it was going to be
Yes.
the 4 of us that were meeting, 2 people in the planning
Yes, it
commission,
was.
2 in the driveway committee. and that we were going to meet, hash out the differences, and I thought it was taken back to the planning commission.
Yeah, that's the way I understood it.
That's what I
Yes.
understood.
Now, if that would work, I mean, there's always the chance that you guys will get nowhere because the public tries to speak in and stuff. If you guys just have your workshop, head-to-head, 2-on-2,
Mhm.
I feel you're gonna get further.
But
Now,
that's
the
not,
public is-
Yes.
that's not what this letter says.
That's right, but we're just saying that that's not what was said at the meeting.
Well,
I'm afraid Tim, but see, Tim goes on later to say that it will be presented
To the
Township Planning
supervisors.
Commission, the public would be invited to comment on any changes at that time. So
That would be
the
ample.
public attending just opens the door for more of this hashing out,
hash.
which
But
I
it
thought
says-
was exactly what was hashed out at the Planning Commission.
okay, but it says they would have no input. It says the public would be allowed to attend these meetings but would have no input.
And what are you gonna do, throw them out? No, I don't think
Yeah, I
that's right.
mean,
Just let them go head to head.
They're gonna talk.
They're gonna bring it back to the public. It'll come back to the public. You and Tim and
them.
two of your people are gonna go head to head, then it's gonna come back to the public. What's wrong with that?
They'll come back
Nothing,
and
because you might work something out without everybody throwing,
15 different things.
that's what was worked out by the planning commission as I read.
Let's go with that and try it.
Thank you.
Set your time, most, but you say, so Tim's gonna do it on Sundays.
It's in, yeah, it's in the only day he's got, I mean, like you say, he's given up his Sunday for it, and that's the only day of the week he
I
can.
mean, Ron, are you two people available on Sunday?
Yeah, we
can make it.
should be able to get 2 people available on Sundays. I'm available, and we've got plenty of other members,
Okay.
so that's not a problem.
So to clarify, we've authorized
Him to go ahead.
that two and two, and the public, we've also agreed that the public does not have to be invited.
And they don't have to be invited.
But can they come if they want to?
I don't have a problem if they observe.
As long as they're quiet and don't.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. They can talk to the planning commission, they can talk to the driveway committee
You're just
later
trying to
on.
work out something, and you got people yakking in back and forth, and it shouldn't be. You have to work it out, and then they can.
Well, let's just clarify that more for you then. If you have trouble with them, you can exclude them then. In other words, if it gets,
We can adapt.
if it interferes with your progress.
Yeah, yeah.
And because of
He's
public
being
input,
You know,
it's your
it's just
decision.
harassment, and you don't have
Why?
nothing done, that's your problem
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
actually, I think the problem right now is that all of our ideas are basically deferred from the planning commission to the engineer, and the engineer basically says he likes the 2010 ordinance and wants everything put back.
Yeah. Okay, the Act 537 committee members, Lewis Park hasn't set a time yet. When he sets a time, it's, then you'll know which way we're going on that.
Okay.
Okay, a website, we talked about that, Nancy, on the assistance and a budget review. What do we have on that?
Well, I provided
What's that?
all of you with a expense revenue compared to budget. I did revise the second page of the expenses because in February, we had set the secretary's salary at $6,500, and on the copy I sent you, it was $7,500, so I adjusted that.
I think we budgeted 7,500.
And the February minutes, we did not do it at the organizational meeting.
No.
The big end?
I guess I'm on a different page here. I think in our budget, we agreed your base would be 65, and then we were allowing a little extra for extra hours. You follow me? So I think, and I'm not gonna swear to it, but I think in our budget, we did budget 7,500, because we knew your base would be 65. And we
Plus
wanted,
your extras.
we wanted a, I guess it was an extra 1,000
For the extra hours.
for the extra hours. You follow me? So that may have been correct. But as far as that, I did not have time to sit down and muddle through all that yet. So I don't know where the rest of the board stands, but I haven't had time. I'm gonna need another one.
Okay, the Notch Road recommendation
I gave you the recommendations last.
Okay, we have all those. Okay. Well, we'll have to go and go right down and go through the, actually.
Okay, if you want to ask me about it when we meet about Scotch or something, we can
Okay.
talk about it.
Well, it'll have to be, I won't be in town from Friday till next Friday. I'll be in Maine.
Okay.
So after that, then we can start going from there. Okay, new business on the cul-de-sac. I guess we want to send a letter to everybody.
Road bus, if you will make a motion on it, to send a letter to road bus, all of the Sylvesters, all of the,
Robert Street.
yeah, what's the other one called? Waste management, to let them know that the cul-de-sac has been completed, and they can use that to turn around. And by the way, I did get a phone call from road bus, and they were absolutely ecstatic with the outcome of the completion of the cul-de-sac in a timely fashion and the way it turned out. They were very pleased with it. So I just want to let everyone know that if it weren't for the diligent working of both Hal and Kelly and who else? Actually, it was Jeff and Mr. Posey. Really, that's what got this thing done in a timely fashion. So I just want to give I told all of them as well that they did a really good job. So Lower Bus congratulates them.
Who all would the letter go to?
Well, that was number 4 on
Yeah.
Jerry's list. Write a letter to companies that use large trucks, buses, such as Roar
Yeah,
Bus,
Roar
the
Bus.
trash hauling companies,
Sylvester's.
and
Waste
remind them of the
Management.
speed limit and narrow lane width.
Yeah, that's a good idea, too, including them.
Yeah, but
Can we get a sign that says cul-de-sac? I mean, I know it sounds silly, but
I mean, cul-de-sac ahead or something?
something like that. If people are used to turning around in people's driveways,
yeah, well,
and they see this cul-de-sac, well, I mean, it seems common sense you use it, but
most of them would. Okay, check that out. Check that out, Nancy, see if they can make us a sign.
well, whatever it would say that would make sense, you know what I'm saying?
Turn around ahead.
Yeah, turn around ahead, that would be it.
You made a motion,
Oh, I'm sorry. I need a motion about getting the information out to it in the form of a letter.
Okay.
She wants to know if I can do the
Second,
second.
yeah, all in favor, aye. Okay,
And that would include those other mentions that Terry
we
said.
got there. Okay, you complain issue forms, anybody have any complaint forms filled out? No, okay, then we'll go to the roadmaster.
Under, I guess it's new business, we had submitted the mileage form.
Right.
We made a copy of it, but we never actually like adopted it or anything. We just.
It's the government, I guess.
True.
No, this form that
Right.
Yeah.
she printed out, it's just missing a purpose. If there's a place to put a purpose that they could fill in, whoever it might be.
Yeah, I can fit that on there, absolutely.
If we could just change it to add a purpose line,
Okay,
and then I would make a motion to adopt the Watts Township mileage form with a purpose for the travel line added, and begin using it upon completion by all employees, what do I want to say? Anyone who
Anyone who
chooses
has
to collect
business for the township.
mileage. Must be mileage.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second, second it. All in favor, aye? Okay. New business, road inspection, we did that. Even know which way we're going. And the line painting, we have a lot of cracks in the center of the roads that we're gonna start on tomorrow to seal all those, and then we can get our lines painted on all the roads for the next couple of weeks.
That's that center line we talked about?
Yeah, we're gonna start to cut them out tomorrow. Yeah. And the pine tree drive, the potholes, we fixed them up and cut the branches.
You all done with Pine Tree? The
It's,
potholes?
there's no potholes, but we do have to, run a layer over some of the spots when we get some hot stuff, and I can be with them. Okay, now the mirror at Crest and Amity, we looked at that and took care of that. Now, you had mentioned, Linda,
Yes.
you had mentioned that mirror on Half Falls. We can't put none there because
Okay.
that's out of our jurisdiction. That's a
Okay.
private driveway.
All right,
Yeah, we would be responsible, the attorney says.
okay,
I mean, I didn't use our attorney, I talked with an attorney.
all right,
But I get
thank
a lot of
you.
free information from my attorney, because he don't work no more. Huh? Yeah.
The road inspection, can we get those results, Pat? We were gonna take them up from the recording.
We'll get him through the next
Yeah,
couple of days.
we'll get
Spin it back, check, that was nice.
I had a lot to take care of that last couple of weeks, so.
Okay, on this, get the plan for Paul.
This, one more thing on the roadmaster. You talked last month, and again, I admit, I haven't had time, probably any of us, to go over the budget numbers. But are we at a point now where we're cutting back the road crew
As soon as we get the blacktop.
as soon as the talking's done?
Right, and we have to get the, probably within another month, we'll be cutting them back.
All right, I just
Well, we
want-
gotta get pine tree, or moderate edges fixed, and we gotta get the edges on not fixed.
I just want to make sure we have nothing in the plans for taking
We're going ahead
big
and
stuff
fix
this
it.
month, yeah.
No,
All right.
okay.
And we got an extension from him, right?
Okay, well, okay, this is what you come up with, Jerry, on this.
Jerry?
Right.
Plan is for one building, new building lot.
Yes.
Okay, stormwater management plan is required,
Well, he asked for 3 waivers.
okay?
The preliminary, stormwater, and ENS submission to them. So I'd say that the first thing you do is you act on the waivers.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the waivers on ones?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, aye? Aye. Okay, then
The only 2 conditions left were the planning module approval and the signing and notarizing of the plans.
I understand the sewage module is supposed to be coming in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, the
or something.
11th, I think he said.
I talked to, he called me about 6 o'clock tonight, no, I'm sorry, probably about 5 o'clock. And he said he wanted to see if we could do conditional on those 2
Right.
minor issues. So I guess that's his proposal.
everybody want
I don't have a problem.
to?
I got a question on that, because that one affects me. I'm Ashley Will, the subdivision, I have no clue. I was trying to figure out, like, if you guys would approve that conditionally, at what point can I go to the attorney to have the land deeded over in my name? I guess that was my purpose for being here, because I am lost in the process of home building.
So I guess if we give the conditional, can we
Yeah.
allow us, the secretary and chairman, to sign it as soon as the sewage module comes
Yeah,
through
I
and they
mean,
present
right,
the
as
plan?
soon as
Yeah, I talked to
Court.
DEP, a guy named Michael, and he said that his deadline for the date for the approval is September 11th.
11th, that's what he said.
So he said it will be completed by that date.
Right.
So what I was trying to figure out, at what point, if that comes in on the 11th, how will I know if it's approved? And if so, I just want to know at what point can I have the land deeded from my parents into our names?
It's going to be
recorded.
Yeah, it would have to be recorded as far as that goes. But, okay, so let's, I guess, let's do this part of it first, and then maybe we can answer the questions after that. So,
As far as make a motion, give
initial.
a conditional approval for this.
On the sewage module and the signature,
Yes.
notarized signature,
Right.
and also can we include that the supervisors and secretary can sign
Sign
it
it.
upon completion of those items?
Correct.
Right.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
So,
So that'll get you closer to it.
Yeah.
So now I'm still confused.
all right, so where you are, As soon as the sewage module comes back, your surveyor can bring the plan to the township, probably on a Wednesday, on the secretary day, get the plan signed.
Okay,
Then your surveyor has to take that plan to the courthouse, and he will record it. Upon recording, he'll give you a copy that you can take to any attorney and get a deed written. So that's the process. Within, that's what, a week of DEP approval, he should have all this to you.
okay, so take it to the secretary, and then we'll get it from the secretary who signs it, takes it to the courthouse.
Right. Your surveyor knows it.
Yeah,
He
Tom,
just
Tom
has,
will-
as
Tom
soon as the
will
module, as soon as the module comes, which I think you'll get a copy of it.
Right.
You should get a copy, if not, your surveyor definitely does. Then you'll know that it's approved, and you can call him and get that in the township to get signed.
Okay, and then as soon as the courthouse signs it over,
You register, you record it in the courthouse,
so I'll get the notification about that.
No,
look,
from your surveyor.
from the surveyor.
And
In
he'll
other words,
make,
your surveyor has to take it to the courthouse and get it registered or recorded in the courthouse.
Okay,
and then he'll return a copy of the recorded plan to you. And you can take that to any attorney.
Then you'll be on your way.
all right, thank you.
Okay, get a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills. Second?
Second. All in favor, aye?
You got a second?
Just let me ask Nancy this. Under to be paid,
Yes.
you list the checks for Kelly Woods and Kelly Riggs and Jeff Woods. Aren't they normally just payroll? Do we have
Yes.
to- Do we have to approve those? Yes, I'm
Well,
asking why they're listed.
It
under
it
to
fell
be
on the
paid.
same date as our meeting,
Oh,
so
That's why they're there.
that's why they're there.
okay.
It makes everything good.
I made the list.
Okay. Anything else? Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
This is on my YouTube.
Well, you know, we're doing that. I wonder if he has them ready. I wonder if he has them ready yet.